a lot of those visuals basically written for Bitcoin. Like once you learn about Bitcoin and then you like walk through the streets similar to Neo, and then like you're focusing on one thing, and then you can see all the fake attitude around you and all the debasement and all the world's problems that can be traced back to like our fiat currency failing. And sometimes I think ignorance is bliss. Like, was I happier before or when I didn't know so much about how the world works? And the Bitcoin led to this revelation. And I wouldn't like, I would choose the red or the orange pill anytime.
Another reason why Bitcoiners would find this film interesting, um, we tend to think about widely accepted or taken for granted realities, and we try to get to the core of them because we realize that about one of the aspects of our lives that we every day have to do with it, we every day are concerned with it, we have been lied to. Hello everyone, we have Chris on today, and we are two Bitcoiners. You know me, you know Chris as the tallest Bitcoiner. Is there anything else you're famous for?
I'm a quiz show host now. I do a Bitcoin trivia quiz show host.
That's awesome. When we last talked to each other, we realized that we are both passionate about film. And we are going to talk about some films that Bitcoiners should be aware of, should watch, or would enjoy watching. I am personally, when I'm watching a film, I like to know the least amount of information about it. But if something is worth watching and rewatching, I don't mind if I know the story. And when you revisit them, you might get much more from the movie if they are watch-worthy or rewatch-worthy. And we have created the list which consists of all such movies. The movies are, well, Chris is German, so our first film is a German one, World on a Wire. The next one, Blade Runner, RoboCop. That's my influence. Even if we are talking about history, I think I will talk about RoboCop. And now we are talking about Bitcoin. You will see the relevance of it. Judge Dredd, Gattaca, and last but not the least, Matrix. I have a presentation. Let me share it. Yeah, the first one, World on a Wire by Werner Fassbiner. Tell us a little about it. This is yeah?
So well done. Rainer Werner Fassbinder. So he's probably one of the most famous German movie directors. Like we have Fritz Lang, we have Werner Herzog, and Rainer Werner Fassbinder. Like he made this movie in 1973, and I believe he was 26, 27. So keep that in mind. You watched it. It is an adaptation of a book, of a sci-fi book. I believe Simulacron 3 is the name, an American author. And he couldn't get a production company to finance it. And this movie was paid for by German public television. And it was a two-parter. It was not one movie, but it was like two. So the entire movie now has like 3.5 hours of runtime. It was like two full movies, like a mini series, which like didn't exist in 1973. And yeah, it hit like a bomb. It's like a very cool cypherpunk movie, which was a genre that did not really exist back then. And then this movie was lost to time. Like nobody had a copy of it. Nobody recorded it. There was like one copy circulating online. It's like really shitty quality. And it got like a cult following. And then Rainer Werner Fassbinder's how do you call it? His heirs found a digitizable version, and then I think it was re-released only in 2010, like rather like recent.
Yes, that's the version I watched. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then it was like I think it's now part of the Criterion collection. So they cut it into one movie instead of like a two-part thing. I have to admit, I really wanted to watch it again in preparation for this podcast. but I couldn't find the time yet. But I really, really want to watch it again. And I think we can give like a brief synopsis without going
Yes.
into like too many spoilers.
Hmm.
So World on a Wire, the original title we see it here is Welt am Draht, is the same translation but in German. And it follows a scientist. His name is Fred Stiller, not related to Ben or Jerry Stiller, but he is working at a cybernetics and future research laboratory, and there they built a fictitious or like a virtual city in which people live, like thousands of people live that do not exist. They're like in a simulated environment, and this is used to study and to make market research and to use those people to gain information for the real world. And in order to communicate between these worlds, there is one contact person within this virtual world that knows that everything is fake and that knows that there is like a higher level to his reality. And yeah, the movie is, I think it's shot like on 16 millimeters. It's like a really, cold, sterile sci-fi look, which we've seen today in like several films, but I don't think this was like a thing that has been done before. It's like I always say, like between another very famous German director, Fritz Lang, Metropolis, and then like when did it was released? Like 1998, 1999, like Matrix. Like this is like the link between those things. Like this, you live in a world, but maybe you are only part of a simulation. Like these themes that, I mean, Elon Musk claims to have come up with this himself, but like this idea is a little older. I think like there was a few books about this, but So what was your impression when you saw it recently?
Yeah, I was really impressed by this movie. I'm really glad that you introduced it. Uh, there were really deep philosophical questions that were posed in this film. And one of the things that is important to me when I'm watching sci-fi is their ability to predict the future in some sort of way. Well, in this film, like all the films from old times, this movie is from 1973, so from 50 years ago almost. One of the things that I like about them is predicting the future. And you see some flaws, but you should be able to kind of overlook those flaws. For example, they have typewriters, phones with bulky buttons and all. But the questions that are posed in this film are really interesting. There's this guy, Fred Stiller, and he's trying to. He's appointed to a role, and he realizes something fishy is going on. And as Chris said, there is a circuit that does some simulations, and the questions that this film deals with are some of the very old philosophical questions from ancient Greece. What is reality? What is real? And there are direct references to Plato's world of ideas and Descartes' cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. And in the Plato's world of ideas, this world is thus just a reflection of a world of a higher, superior reality. And when we see that reality, this world was seem just like a shadow. And every character in that circuit is kind of a shadow of what is real. And when the characters want to think whether the world they are in is real or their existence is real, they are sure about one thing, that their existence is real. And they refer to Descartes' quote, cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. And once in a philosophy class, we had a very interesting discussion and we got a very good backstory about it. And cogito ergo sum doesn't exactly mean I think, therefore I am. It means I am fooled or I am manipulated, therefore I am. It says that even if all this world is a hallucination and there is this demon that controls the world, but you cannot deny the fact that if you are a person who is fooled by all these trickery of this demon, you exist. Even if everything around you is fake, even if everything is just inspirations or signals coming from that demon, you exist. So this movie thinks about such questions and also reflects upon what we consider a living thing. Are those circuits living? Are they not? And we might have such meditations, such thoughts nowadays, especially with the rise of ChatGPT and many of such GPT and LLMs that have become so powerful that it is not difficult to kind of relate to them and consider them as a human, humanize them, make them a human.
Yeah, I mean, there's this Turing test that people apply, and I think if you talk to ChatGPT or Grok or to all these LLMs, like it would fool you. You would think, yeah, this is a person, because first off, they make a lot of mistakes, but yeah, we moved on so rapidly, and yeah. Going back to 1973, like, and again, like, not only 1973, but like a director that is like 27, 28 years old.
That's amazing. I
Putting
just
this vision
realized it
together.
now. Mm-hmm.
Have you seen any? Have you heard about this director before?
No, I have never heard of him. But can you name some of his other films? Maybe I have encountered them. I have encountered Metropolis, which is a very old movie, one of the maybe earliest sci-fis in the world. That was also a great mention. I will put the poster of that there too. If you are into silent movie and you like exaggerated theatrical performances, you would really love that. And the special effects of those times, tools were not that sophisticated, but they managed to make such sophisticated, complicated cities. That was lovely. I enjoyed every minute of that film. But tell us if this director has some other movies that are worth watching. It was impressive that he was only 26, 27 that he made this.
Yeah, I mean, so it's he is. I think he died. I was trying to look it up just now, but I think like he died at the age of 37. He had a very big catalog of movies by that time, but he was heavily drug addicted. And there's a story where he contacted a friend of his, said like, "Oh, I just dumped all of my drugs down the toilet. I'm done with this. I only have this final line of cocaine that I'll take," and that was what killed him. Like he went out with like a champagne bullet, and yeah, I'm not sure. Like there are definitely movies that should be known outside of Germany, because he worked like in Italy and America, like with a lot of international actors, and I think at the time he was one of the world's most known directors. But I'm currently drawing blanks. So yeah, he is not related to Michael Fassbender. I looked this up once, but yeah, he left an impact. So yeah, like when he was 27, yeah, he must have died like in the 80s, like 82, 83 or so. Very, very young. Had he been around, he would be probably similar to like a director that we talk about later, Ridley Scott. Like, I mean, this guy's in his 90s and is doing like still cranking out amazing movies. But yeah, I mean, should we go in further on this movie? Like do like a little bit of teaser so that people watch it without spoiling something?
Yeah.
And we can, I think, talk about like. So the main character, he works at this laboratory, and they have these fictitious like cities, that they
Just
observe.
a small spoiler warning for those who really do not want to know anything about the movie. For those who are very hard on it, you can look at the list of the movies that I will leave in the description, and you can watch them and then come back to this. But yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
we will put the time to which you can skip ahead. So
Yeah, I
so
will add chapters.
he works at this laboratory, and his boss suddenly dies, and a friend of his, the head of security, comes to him and wants to talk to him about a revelation that his boss, before he died, made. But before it gets to that, that person also dies under mysterious circumstances, and suddenly he starts going down this rabbit hole, and he's being gaslit by his coworkers that the second person, the head of security, never existed. Like he can't find anything in the database of employees about the person that he knew that must have existed. And all this while, like, he's being promoted to his former boss's position, and he's observing this virtual world, and there is a person that wants to try to end his life, and then they intervene and take this person out of the simulation, like remove him, because that would disturb the others. And in order to go into this world, like, you have to like contact, like, there is a contact unit always, like there's like a lot of NPCs, basically we would call them NPC these days, and there's like one person that can knows about the other reality. And in one of those instances, that contact person overpowers another person and transfers his mind into that person and tries to leave that virtual world. And however, like, Fred like realizes that in time and can prevent that. But before that happens, that person that was just part of a virtual simulation tells him, oh, I made it up one level, but there is more, implying, oh, this what you're experiencing here is not even the reality yet, like there is something above you. And from that point on, like, this starts to go deeper, and like you question reality. And it's a very, very, I think it's not a perfect movie, but it's very close to a perfect movie to me. Like, if you are watching it, I feel like you do not like feel that it's like over 3 hours long. Like, I didn't feel.
Yeah, really, really. It was very engaging. And especially I like the styles of the movies of all time. I wished my fiance enjoyed them as much so we could watch them together. But these are the movies that I have to watch on my own time. Yeah, so if we doubt about the reality, so it reminds us of the quote by Socrates, that a life unexamined is not worth living. And this is another reason why Bitcoiners would find this film interesting. We tend to think about widely accepted or taken for granted realities, and we try to get to the core of them because we realize that about one of the aspects of our lives that we every day have to do with it, we every day are concerned with it, we have been lied to. So we think about other things. What else have we been lied to? What is true? And yeah, so any Bitcoiner would really enjoy that, especially if you are a cypherpunk. How about we go to Blade Runner? It's a well-known movie. Everyone probably has watched it, especially if they are from our own age, our own era. The newer generation might not have watched it. Harrison Ford, he plays the role of a kind of officer whose mission is to execute some androids that are very similar to humans, hence the term android. So
Is that the movie that came up with, or like the book too, that came up with the name Android? Did it? I'm not sure.
Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? I think the book came up with that, and I have read the book too. it is in some ways different from the movie and very interesting. So you think that the book came up with this idea, yeah?
No, I mean
With this
even the
term,
name of Android, or is it like some
Android.
what's his name, Isaac Asimov creation? I'm not sure. Like
Isaac's creation, I don't know. But the author of this book, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, is Philip K. Dick.
which we will explore later too. He has a few more. A lot of his sci-fi novels have been adapted into very, very successful movies. But I think like the phone, the Google named, or like the predecessor when Google bought them, they named the Android operating system after this movie or book, I think.
What other books of this author have been turned into films?
So Philip K. Dick, I mean Gattaca and Minority Report.
Oh, Gattaca too. Gattaca, we have it on
Yeah, that's
Gattaca, we have
what I
it on the
meant. Like
list.
I thought this was like on purpose that you're leading into this, but let's. Yeah, no, I'm not mistaking them. Yeah, or is it like let me check this live because I
Yeah,
think
check it. I just knew about this one because I have read the book. I actually have listened to the audiobook. This was a really interesting story. So the movie and the book are two different worlds, and I appreciate them both. But the book, I would say more.
the Minority Report is true, but is this an original work? Did I just spread fake news? I thought Gattaca
Now,
was.
you can also ask ChatGPT too.
Yes, I'm
If
too
it doesn't
ancient.
mislead you, if it doesn't want to say
Yeah.
that, yes, you are actually right.
Yes. The Man in the High Castle, Scanner Darkly, Total Recall, Minority Report. These are, I think we all know these films. Like Total Recall was with Arnie.
Arnold, yeah.
But Gattaca, my mistake. It felt like it felt like a Philip K. Dick thing. But the original Blade Runner, Ridley Scott. This man is a mystery. Like I mean, he created so many movies, like Gladiator, recently The Martian. Like there's so many movies, and I think he is in his 90s now, and he's still working. Like, can you imagine a 90-year-old person on a director's set yelling at actors? It's really really impressive, and like his work. He has many different genres that he mastered, I think, and with Blade Runner, like I mean, most people today might actually be like familiar with like the not remake but like the sequel to this, like Blade Runner 2049. But it's still well worth the watch. Like I'm not entirely convinced that like they needed to have Harrison Ford in the new one.
Big
It's like
spoiler.
I mean, we can see his de-aged. This was before AI. I think nowadays they could do it better probably. But it also was a really beautifully shot movie. Denis Villeneuve like is a master. Like what was the movie? Not The Awakening. He had a few sci-fi bangers, like recently, like Dune. But before that, Arrival and a lot of film noir movies. What was the movie with Hugh Jackman and Aaron Gyllenhaal, Jake Gyllenhaal?
I don't know.
Prisoners, I think, where they're like detectives looking for a child abductor. So he in this movie he's combining like the sci-fi element and this film noir, like these themes of a detective in this case, who does not know whether or not he is an android. He thinks he's human. He looks down on other androids, but in the end, maybe he's not so human after all.
Mhm. And in the original Runner 2, didn't you get the impression that probably Rick Deckard is an android, especially the way he was shot in the beginning, the way the camera shot him, I mean.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you?
he may have been like similar to RoboCop, where you are
Mhm.
like, maybe they take like the mind of a living being and then put it into an android. Maybe that is the secret
Uh-huh.
sauce.
Hmm. Yeah, and as you said, it is one of those film noirs. I also checked Prisoners. Yeah, Prisoners is also by the same director as the second movie, uh, Denis
So
Villeneuve.
he's Canadian, but French Canadian. So I would say Denis Villeneuve. I think the D is too much at
Villeneuve,
the
yeah.
end. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, he is like he recently he made like the Dune sequels. So like he got to do like the sequel to Blade Runner and like then the yeah Dune 1, 2, and I think 3. Did you see those?
Dune 1 I have only seen. I haven't seen the second one.
Yeah, so visually, I think he's my favorite working director right now. So the cinematography and the way that his movies are shot, like it's purely as like any probably film student gets told, like show don't tell. Not a lot of dialogue, not a lot of explanation, just like cameras moving through the scene. Sometimes you have dialogue and like the camera moves away and shows you like, okay, this is happening here, but there might be some more important stuff happening off screen. It's like really, it's not. I mean, I also watch these movies like it's not a Transformers movie where you like gets action like in your face and like everything is like a sensory overload. These films, they're like sometimes a slow burn, but always really really beautifully yeah choreographed.
Another reason why Bitcoiners would like them, because they are very low time preference. You would see the same thing in the classic film noir. I like the way the conversations are so witty. You don't see two people saying hello, hello, how are you? They say
Yes,
hello. The
it's
other
broken
conversation is
down
something.
to very very efficient communicating. I'm like it's not
Exactly.
real, but it's like
Yes.
nobody is as witty, I think, or like there's always like downtime or like I mean it's this movie trope I think where people are on a phone and then they like immediately starts talking and then they hang up without saying goodbye or something.
Exactly. That's the reason, and that's always in films you see that they hang up without saying goodbye, or they hear about some news, they say, okay, it's changed to channel 4, for
Yeah,
example. They change
and
to
it's
channel
already on.
4 and it's already on from the beginning till the end, and then they mute it. These are just some non-realistic things that you can see in every kind of movie. You cannot see uh, probably any director unless they are amateur. Maybe there are exceptions. I
Yeah, I
have
think
seen. Mhm,
there's this very cool Wikipedia style site that collects these things. It's called TV Tropes.
mhm,
And there you can like find all these like it's basically a trope is a cliche, but it's like not overused. It's just something like yeah, these visual things. Like when you watch any movie, usually they when people drive in a car, the headrest is removed because like the cameraman has to film the conversation, and you don't notice it when you don't know, but once you
mm.
see. Then oh, this is a movie because the headrest is missing right now, and it's only missing in some scenes. In some scenes, it's not missing. Sometimes, like nowadays, they digitally add it, and like there's yeah I really like spent a lot of time like years ago on this site and going through all these rabbit holes and then you get like references to where in like not only movies but like also in television these tropes are being used.
Yeah, I
But
hadn't noticed that. You said that the hairdress, yeah, the hairstyle is removed. What
the
do you mean?
headrest like the if you in a car you see there's
Headrest
like
is
this
removed.
yeah the
I had never noticed that. Interesting.
now you will notice.
Yeah, yeah. There are some things that you would notice after you hear about them. One of them is a piece of cardboard box that is put on a lamp in Dracula, the old black and white movie. and after you hear about it, you will see it, and you cannot ever unsee it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they make mistakes that end up in the final cut, similar to
Yeah.
like some Starbucks
That's one of the
coffee thing.
theories,
So,
exactly.
but yeah, I mean, like some of these tropes I wish I didn't know. Like there's this thing that I will share now and people will hate me for it, but like if there's like a heist movie and there is this team, let's say Ocean 11 or whatever, and they're like talking how they will execute the plan, and then there is like a visual way explaining how this
Exactly.
plan is going to work, then you know immediately it's not going to work like that. Like something will go wrong. What they're planning right now, yeah, because otherwise they wouldn't show it to you. But
Yeah, that was a very interesting way of storytelling, Ocean's 11. I actually watched it long ago, but I still remember it. Let's go to the next one, which is my favorite one. Whatever
your
we talk
all-time favorite
about, we
movie.
will talk about all-time favorite movie, literally. I have watched it a lot of times since I was a child, and it would air on TV. I would watch it. And there are so many gruesome scenes in it. And when I was a child, I never thought about them. They didn't seem too gory, too brutal to me, except for the beginning where Alex Murphy gets shot by a gang of policemen. I remember that the TV would also put an announcement, put a kind of break that this next scene is too brutal. So if there are kids, tell them not to watch it. But there were several scenes that were very brutal, gruesome, difficult to watch, but they didn't strike me as much, maybe because my brain was too underdeveloped. But since then, I have watched it, rewatched it. Maybe for many years, I didn't watch it until I graduated from university. And in one day, uh, I had to watch RoboCop and also the next two movies, and also a remake of it, which I do not recommend. There are some interesting things. People tend to shit too much on that. I would say maybe give it a shot. There are some interesting ideas in it. But RoboCop 2 and 3 are not as good. Paul Verhoeven directed it. An interesting thing about it. Well, first, the story. Alex Murphy, the guy that you see in RoboCop's suit, was shot by a gang of criminals. Then he was kind of revived into this RoboCop, which is a combination of machine and human. It's a really interesting and deep story. Paul Verhoeven first was offered to make this movie. Their screenwriters had a difficult time to sell the story because Terminators had come before that, and they thought that they were trying to make use of the success of Terminator and create and make a new movie just to become successful the way Terminator had become successful. So they didn't see it as a kind of original idea. And when you see both movies, you see that they are very, very different. And I personally do not like Terminator at all. Maybe some people would hate me, but I do not really like it. RoboCop, this idea might seem crazy, but I would say that in many ways it is real. And there are so many things, again, about predicting the future that I think are noteworthy. For example, there is this scene where he's walking by a gas station and he's suddenly a text appears on his monitor and crime in progress. So his eyes are trained to see, to recognize the pattern of crime, how a criminal moves, acts, how is this scene different from other scenes, from other things that he might see. That was a very interesting thing, and this is just one example of that.
Yeah, and but it's not just crime. Like there's like essentially Detroit, like where this movie plays. It's like it is the police, and he's the police officer, but behind all that is like a private like organization, like a private mega corporation, and you can't be sure. And he comes to learn that, like, even though like he regains like some fragments of his humanity, like he lost like his earlier life, and then he became this, yeah, I mean, we can call him a killing machine for like this private company that's, yeah, law enforcement is like a profitable business in this yeah, dystopian society. In many ways, it reminds me of America today, where you have like justice for you, and or like the rules only apply to you, and in the event something happens, like only justice is like dealt out to those that are not in power. Like it's yeah, I mean, this movie, yeah, it feels more real, even though it's very funny looking. Like, I mean, you see like this, yeah, makeup, or like this 80s look. It's a little campy. It's a little yeah, it's a sci-fi movie, but today's private prison system in the United States, this yeah, the police forces that are yeah, always beating down on like, yeah, not those that probably do the most damage in society. It's a lot of striking similarity, I think, and it's getting closer to that. And now we have Boston Dynamics building building these robots that are also like using AI to probably also then get like the message, crime and process, and then they, I don't know, moving over to like Judge Dredd, like they also not only are the yeah, executive, but also the judicative force behind sentencing you. So I
Yeah, we
think
will get to Judge Dredd too. Some other interesting things about RoboCop is that Paul Verhoeven did not want to make this movie. His English was not that good. He was offered the script. He wanted to read it, and he realized that he has to refer to the dictionary too often, and he got tired. And he had the script with him on probably a boat trip, but it was on vacation, and his wife accidentally reads the script, and she finds this idea interesting, and it becomes the movie created by him. Another Paul Verhoeven movie is Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that is an interesting movie too. For me, it doesn't belong to this list. I don't like any other Paul Verhoeven movie as much as this. This is
as
a
we mentioned
masterpiece
earlier,
over them
it
all.
belongs into the list because it's a Philip K. Dick adaptation.
Is it?
Yeah, Total Recall. Yeah.
Ah, Total Recall. Total Recall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
And Total Recall is also interesting. And another thing is that Arnold was supposed to get this role, but he was huge, of course. And this costume was very difficult to make. And Peter Vella, who played this role, had a difficult time. It would take maybe half a day, some crazy amount of time to put on this suit, and it was very difficult to walk in it. He had learned some swordsmanship or some dance to, kind of get into the role, and then all those lessons went to waste because he couldn't apply them to this suit and the way he moved in this suit. One of the things that I have thought about a lot, and the reason why I have put RoboCop on this list, just not because I believe it is a masterpiece of all time. The other reason is it's Directive 4. RoboCop, when in that corporation, what was the corporation? Do you remember the name of it?
OCP.
OCP, yeah, OCP. When OCP makes him, they secretly put a kind of backdoor, a hidden code in him, Directive 4. Any attempt to arrest a senior officer of OCP results in system shutdown. And the police force doesn't know about it either. RoboCop, of course, doesn't know about it either. And I thought about this long before I knew Bitcoin. And I was going to write an article about, an academic article, in fact, on RoboCop, Directive 4, and the importance of open source, and why it is important to have open source, and why Bitcoin should be open source is to prevent things such as Directive 4 from happening. So many of the things that we are using are black boxes, but Bitcoin is not. And the more you learn about it, the more you learn about the technicalities behind it, the more you become a very capable and skillful user of it without having to trust others or minimize your trust to others. So that is a very important thing, and that is one of the dangers of closed source that is very beautifully shown in this movie.
Yeah, I agree. Like open source, like I feel myself having these conversations with older people from time to time when it's like, oh, the government needs to do this new thing in order to spy on people, or you need to have this software on our computer. And of course, we go with Microsoft, or we go with Adobe instead of taking like the open source alternative, because what is free or what is open source does not necessarily have to be free, but like oftentimes it's like free and open source software. People don't understand like all the benefits. Like it's not intuitive that like software that is fully open is more secure than closed software where you don't know if somebody has like a backdoor, or somebody, an attacker has found a backdoor that a white-hatted hacker might also have found and would have like created a pull request to fix it. Like I was just in Prague a couple weeks ago, where Satoshi Labs, like they invented the hardware wallet, the Bitcoin hardware signer, the Trezor Model 1 in 2013. Ever since then, they have been building more like open source technology. Like it has always been open source, and has now reached one level where they have a new hardware signing device, the Trezor Safe 7, that has a open source secure element in there. And I, like, for the longest time I didn't understand why would you need a secure element, because like I'm trusting all the other components anyways, and there were like different approaches to this. And like I knew secure elements from like SIM cards, or like from a credit card. These chips that you see there are secure elements. And a lot of hardware signing devices use them, but the downside to that is like you would have to sign a non-disclosure agreement with a company before they would give you the plans for this device. And even if you, as the company who signed the NDA, found like a loophole, you can only report it to the company, and you can't publish your findings. In open source, usually if you find a critical bug, and this happens in Bitcoin from time to time, depending on severities, like there's 4 levels to this, like minor or medium or highly or critical bugs or exploits. You have to or you should take time to, like, before you publish anything, like inform the people that need to know. They will figure out a way to fix it, or you can help them fix it, and then it will be rolled out, not just for the current version of Bitcoin, but like later versions. And yeah, with signing an NDA, effectively, like you're adding an element of trust again. And now with the Safe 7, they have created or released with their subsidiary company like Tropical Square, like a new, for the first time, an open source secure element that can be fully audited by anybody who knows how to do these things. And it's not like vendor locked, like other people can use the plans and create it themselves and put it in their hardware signing devices or any other hardware signing device, which I think is a huge step forward, like not only in software, but like in hardware terms. So the more open source, the better, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Time to move on to the next one. Yeah. Judge Dredd, 1995, by Danny Cannon. It's one of the movies that I watched with my whole family, and my whole family liked it too. It was, for example, RoboCop. My family was watching it, but they were They just happened to see some scenes of it. They weren't invested in it. And Judge Dredd and one of the later films, Gattaca, there were two movies that I really loved as a child. I have rewatched both, and my family of all ages, including my parents, they liked them. Judge Dredd, tell us about Judge Dredd and what you find interesting in it.
I have to admit, I have not seen the original Judge Dredd. I've only seen the one with Karl Urban. I was not really a big fan of Sly. Like, I mean, I've seen Rocky. I've seen like later like a bunch of his movies, but he never struck me as a good actor. Seeing the remake, I think from 2008 or so, with the New Zealand actor Karl Urban, I fully understand how he is the perfect fit for for this role because of his not, let's say, limited acting ability, but like he is made for this kind of role. You have essentially a RoboCop who is also executioner and the judge, and who is like, because the justice system is like entirely overloaded. We have these characters going around and basically witnessing crime, immediately determining who's at fault, and in the
Crime in
event that is like
progress.
punishable by death, you will be executed on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie, as you can see from the poster, though part of the face is hidden, as Chris said, it's Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, or in Persian we called him Stallone. Maybe it is the more correct pronunciation. It seems so. There were things that I liked about it. Some parts of it, well, not great story development, but when you like a story as a child, when you watch it again, maybe you do not hate it too much. It has happened with so many movies. For example, as a child, I was crazy about Superman. When I watch it now, and it has great actors such as Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando acts in it too. And you look at it, the story, the way the dialogue goes on, the way things happen like a miracle, you do not like them. But this was a kind of, middle ground for me. When I rewatched it, I really didn't hate it. I liked it. I miss it again, and I would want to watch it. So the idea behind it was interesting, that there were some autonomous judges and police force who would patrol the city and would kill the criminals on the spot. I don't think they had any other punishment. The only punishment was death on the spot. And
Yeah,
there is
I
a
think
scene.
like in the newer one, like he also arrests people and not immediately kills them, but like yeah, usually he is sent into places where the likelihood that you do like something punishable by death happens. But yeah, again, like going back to
Right.
open source, like yeah, you have a centralized authority that gets to decide, and basically the justice process is automated. And yeah, those things can go awry.
Automated, no plea, and no chance to kind of ask for reconsideration of your circumstances. Another trivia, or another very small scene, short scene from this movie, was when some machines were walking and they were selling food, and they would recycle trash into food. And if people follow me, they know how passionate I am about real food, uh, and the way that the big food pushes things, really chemical elements, as food, and recycles things as food, as you see, for example, in margarine, which is just a byproduct of some of the process. They want to just make use of it. They do, and they present it to us as food, not only food, but also healthy food. Cheetos are a byproduct of dairy, something that they wouldn't use at all, but this definitely trash. They make food out of it. Uh, there are so many examples, or seed oils which were technically machine lubricant, and after the Civil War, they wanted ways to sell it to people. So they were like, okay, how about putting it into people's body? So that was a scene that I liked about this movie very much. So if you have same interests as me, you might find this scene and maybe the whole movie interesting. The other one that you talked about with the actor is from where?
I think Carl Urban, he is from New Zealand.
Hmm.
I'm trying to come up with other movies that he has been in. Um,
But the other actor is Lena Headey, which
yeah,
is who is the actor of Cersei from Games of Thrones.
yeah. I think he was in District 9 too. I'm not sure, like the Blomqvist movie in South Africa. But yeah, I mean he is also very like similar, I assume, to like Sylvester Stallone in the way in his range of motion. But I really enjoyed this movie. It's also from a visual aspect, it's really yeah, innovatively shot, and there is like this essentially this entire movie plays in one skyscraper, and there are these drug addicts. Once they take this certain drug, they like this time slows down, and those visual effects are really impressive. Like the effect of like slow motion in this movie was very well done. It was not just like a visual element, but like part of the story.
Next one, Gattaca, 1997, another film that I watched with the family, and the whole family liked it too. Um, so tell us about this story, the story behind this film.
Yeah, I think like this is the worst movie poster. Like this would not want me. I wouldn't want to watch the movie after seeing this movie poster. Like, give it a chance, people. So the movie is about two people essentially. One person, so it's placed in the future where we have gene editing, and before, people would have something called a love child, where people just had sex and then they get a baby, and sometimes the baby is not perfectly healthy, or like might be handicapped, or like may not be like a perfect superstar athlete. But with gene editing now, we have the possibility to in the womb make every person that gets born perfect from the start. And after a certain period of time, this almost becomes mandatory, and nobody has any non-genetically altered kids anymore. And one of these people, the main character, he is a love child, meaning he is not um, tall or handsome or intelligent, above average, and he has, I think he even has asthma or something. Like he has nobody, like he has a weak heart, and not like in our current society, if you have these pre-existing conditions, like you can still do things and achieve things, but in this dystopian future, you at a job application, you do a DNA test, and then they check, and then they see, oh no, this guy probably is gonna die in 10 years, like we're not gonna hire him, or like you're not healthy enough to be fit for this role. And so he is a janitor. Like he works as a handyman, a cleaner, a super, like he's mopping the floors at a space agency. And he tries to become an astronaut, though. And the way he goes about doing this is that every time he goes to work, he tries to not leave any DNA. He cleans himself of all like skin flakes and hairs that might get fallen out, so that like, because the DNA will be checked everywhere, and then people will see, hey, this guy, he's a dirty love child, not a perfect super athlete. And he wants to become this astronaut, and he cheats his DNA test by finding a former Olympic swimmer, I think. Jude Law plays that role. Like the protagonist is Ethan Hawke, and like Jude Law plays this technically on paper perfect human, but he had like a I think drunk driving accident. Like he lost the ability to walk, and they have this deal where he earns their living because he gives the DNA samples, like urine tests, etc., to the person that is not hurt.
Fragments of the skin also.
Yes, and it is I think as close to a perfect movie as it gets. Like I've watched it numerous times, and I don't think I've spoiled a lot. Like this is everything is happening like in the first 10 minutes, but it's really really interesting, and there are a lot of these cypherpunk themes in there, I think.
And it is also one of these tech film noirs. I generally love film noir, and when also its iterations or reincarnations I also love, and Gattaca is one of them. And one interesting thing about that is that Dean Norris, the actor who played as Hank Schrader in Breaking Bad, also acts in it. So he appears in one scene only. I could tell by his voice mostly, and I checked the cast, and he was actually there, so I was right, and he appears in only one scene.
But
Next one, yeah?
yes,
And
the
the
main.
last but not the least, The Matrix, and there are two honorable mentions from my side, and maybe you have prepared something too. Do we need to tell anything, say anything about the story, or everyone knows that?
I mean,
It's maybe
probably everybody has seen it. Again, like there's this arc that I said, like from Metropolis to World on Wire to Matrix. Like this is the connecting thing. You are in a world that you think is real, and suddenly you are taking out and realize, oh, I'm a slave to the machine. Like I mean, probably everybody watching this has seen the movie. There are a few like funny facts about it. Like originally, the lead actor would not have been Keanu Reeves, but the role was offered to Will Smith. And he was like he said, no, I have to do this other movie called Wild Wild West, which was a funny movie, but it's like I'm not sure it flopped, but like it wasn't a great movie. And I cannot for the life of me picture anybody other than Keanu Reeves as Neo. And so it's a groundbreaking movie, but a lot of the visuals that you see in the movie, stolen is too harsh of a word, but they were inspired by other cypherpunk movies before, I think.
Yeah, one of them that I have actually, inspired is the better term, because they also give credit to those people. I don't think that they were, the Wachowskis would say that the idea was all ours. One of the films that I highly recommend you watch if you have enjoyed Matrix, even if you haven't enjoyed Matrix, you would enjoy this one. Dark City, 1998. So 1 year before The Matrix, Alex Proyas. A very interesting movie, and especially the green theme, the green shadow used in the cinematography, uh, that has influenced Matrix a lot. And also there are things in the story that uh, are related to the dystopian world that they live in the Matrix.
Yeah, I think I have not seen this movie, but now that I see that Jennifer Connelly's place, I have to see it. She was my childhood crush. Like,
Cute. Yeah, The Matrix is one of the movies I have watched over and over, but only the first one. The next ones are really a disappointment. What do you think?
I mean, I've seen 1, 2, and 3. I have never seen the fourth one that was just recently released.
Yeah.
Supposedly, it is not as bad as the other sequels, but I mean, usually there are exceptions, but usually like sequels are not that great. Like, I mean, there are like the Godfather and Toy Story, maybe like those are some good sequels, but Matrix. It is also, yeah, very close to a perfect movie. You can watch it from like, yeah, any age. Like there's, I mean, you have to, like, 1999 was a great movie for you, like a great year for movies, I think, in general. And had this movie been released in any other year, it probably would have won every single prize. I think it came out during the same time as like The Green Mile and like what I think even Toy Story 2 was also the same year, and like Iron Giant. Like 1999 is, yeah, I mean, probably 10, 20 movies that we all know and love were released during that year. That's why it was like, I think it only like a special effects Oscar or something happened there, because like this scene, this very famous scene where he's like evading the bullets from Agent Smith. Like
On the
today we
rooftop,
could
yeah.
easily do this like with like simulations.
You can also ask ChatGPT to do it for you.
Yeah, I mean, you could do ChatGPT or Sora or something.
Yeah.
And back then, like I watched the making of this movie.
Yes. It
They
was
had like
crazy.
hundreds of cameras in like an aluminum frame, taking individual pictures. And I think this was shot in Australia or something. Like they moved it from like Los Angeles for some tax credit or whatever to like Australia, and it like. Yeah, nowadays you would think, oh, that's an easy thing, but like this was very, very, yeah, avant-garde. And I think the person that did like the special effects went on to found one of the more influential special effects studios. Um,
There were so many inventions during this movie. That scene is one of them. We were crazy about that scene where Neo does, slowly goes back to dodge the bullets. That's something that we were trying to reenact at the schoolyard. And of course, we couldn't go past 25 degrees, not even to 45 degrees. But yeah, in this movie, he just bends to until he makes a 90-degree angle with his knees to the so he's parallel to the rooftop that he's on. And there is this scene that a helicopter crashes a penthouse. That also required a kind of invention of those glasses so that that effect is made. They put a lot of efforts in the special effects of it, and there's a lot of special effects going into this movie. That was another allure of that, because doing them and especially making them look natural and blend in with the elements that are added to the green screen, that was a very difficult thing, especially then. Now they are much easier, and so it was a masterpiece from that point of view too. Things that are taken from other stories, like Alice in Wonderland, Follow the White Rabbit, or going down the rabbit hole. The White Rabbit comes from there, and that is a term among us Bitcoiners. And there is this iconic scene where Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne, is offering a Neo two pills, one red, one blue, and taking the red pill is what wakes him up, but is not a pleasant truth, and orange pill is for us Bitcoiners. And if you are into Nostr, purple pill too.
yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of those visuals are like, basically written for Bitcoin. Like once you learn about Bitcoin, and then you like walk through the streets similar to Neo, and then like you're focusing on one thing, and then you can see all the fake attitude around you and all the debasement and all the world's problems that can be traced back to like our fiat currency failing. And it is sometimes, I think, ignorance is bliss. Like, was I happier before or when I didn't know so much about how the world works? And the Bitcoin led to this revelation. And I wouldn't, like, I would choose the red or the orange pill anytime. but in this movie, like I think there was one traitor, like he chose on purpose, like
This
the
guy.
blue pill.
Spoiler alert, this guy. He actually, I think, took the red pill, but he then turned against them.
Yeah,
I
he
think
took
you
it
had
and
to
then he
take
said
the
like, I
yeah.
want a rare steak. I want to go back. I don't want to eat this gruel what they eat. Yeah, and I think his name was even Cypher.
Yes, his name was Cypher, correct. I couldn't remember his name. Most likely it is Cypher. If it is wrong, I will write it on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, I
Another,
think it's the guy on the movie poster to the left. But yeah, I mean, if you
yeah,
haven't seen
he
this
is
movie,
definitely him. I have recently watched it. It is him,
if
but
you
the
haven't seen this
name,
movie, what are you doing here? Like, no spoilers for the Matrix in 2025.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Another interesting influence on this movie, which is not as much known, but maybe more known than Dark City, is Ghost in the Shell. It's an anime. It has its own TV series, anime, aka anime, and also feature film or movie. That is an interesting film to watch too. I have watched it twice or more, uh, the movie, but the TV series, the anime, I have watched maybe one or two episodes of, and I just didn't have time. It was interesting, and some of the scenes are copies of that too.
Yeah, when like Trinity is like falling
Exactly.
through the window, that is a very famous scene from Ghost in the Shell. Like, yeah, the anime I think of
Yes.
like 1995, very well worth
Yes.
watching. I think the live action remake with Scarlett Johansson is, yeah, I mean, if you like Scarlett Johansson, you can watch it, but I don't think it's worth it. But like the original Ghost in the Shell, yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of
because I
inspiration.
have watched it, watched the original. I that didn't have much allure for me, and I didn't watch it. And since we've talked about Keanu Reeves, Johnny Mnemonic is a very underappreciated movie by Robert Longo, and it involves uh, Johnny Mnemonic, our Keanu Reeves. He he uses his brain to transfer data, forbidden data, from one place to another. That's a very interesting story. I love this. Though it is from 1995, it feels fresh and very interesting. I highly recommend this one.
Yeah, it's very interesting with Johnny Mnemonic. So yeah, he is a data courier, and he uses his brain to store data, and even goes so far as to delete like childhood memories. So he has more capacity, and then I think he gets some very important data on there, and then he's being hunted by the entire world and criminals, and they want to get inside what's in there. And as the name, his last name says, it's a mnemonic. Like we use those in Bitcoin, our seed
Hmm.
phrases. You can have a brain mnemonic. You can have all the money in the world stored on 12 words that you remember in the right order. And yeah, maybe like a funny background thing too. Like in the Matrix, we as humans in the Matrix are, I think, battery storage or so for the human
Yes.
body. Initially, in the script, it was said that they are plugging into our brains to use us as computational um, uh, CPUs, which makes a lot more sense because the human body is a very bad battery. Like we we need to eat a lot, and then it lasts 24 hours, and we need to eat more. Um, and it makes a lot more sense to use our brain power. And the machines should have used that. And similarly, like this is you store information in your brain in this movie that came out earlier than the Matrix, which is yeah, kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was a chat that I've been looking forward to so much, Chris. I'm glad we had it. It's been in the works for a long time, and we eventually managed to do it. It's been maybe even a year since we last talked. I don't know. It can be. We should do this more often, and we review more films for
Happy to.
Bitcoiners if it has. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
if it
people
has.
can write in the comments what kind of movie fits this cypherpunk, this Bitcoin ethos. What is a movie every Bitcoiner should have seen, or like something that maybe yeah, comes up with
Johnny,
new themes for the future that will arise.
Johnny Mnemonic, in fact, was one of the suggestions by one of the Nostriches, one of the people on Nostr, that I watched it, I enjoyed it, and it's made it into this list. So comment it below. And where can people who might not know you follow you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at CoinJoined. I mostly talk about Bitcoin. I run a few companies, Seedor, where we do backup solutions for Bitcoin, StatsKeeper, where we help you inherit on plan for your inheritance. And now my latest, biggest venture is Bitsurance, where we insure your Bitcoin in self-custody against firewater, $5 ranch attacks, robbery, extortion, these kinds of things, currently in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, but soon all over Europe. But yeah, mostly you can find me on Twitter at CoinJoinedChris. And if you want to recommend a movie, I'm always happy to.
Yeah, we are looking forward to all of them. Thank you again, Chris, and thank you all.
Thank you. Bye bye.